Zhibo's thinking is extreme and unreasonable, my village is hypocritical and decaying, dark and bloody, even the whole world is so chaotic, twisted, ignorant, and backward. Awakened from his rebellious nature, Uchiha no longer wants to argue with the corrupt and ignorant, but only wants to dominate the world with absolute power and transform it into the way he wants it to be. You plunder the sealed book, learn and optimize the technique of the Flying Thunder God, create the Flying Thunder God barrier, and after opening the barrier, you can control the space for teleportation, attacks, defense, etc. You dissect the Great Toad Immortal, study the principles of prophecy, understand the power of time, and combine with the fairy art of Muye Village to create the immortal mode of imperial time, devouring natural energy and controlling time. You devour the 10-tailed divine trees, unleash the genetic shackles with a majestic chakra, obtain the essence of life evolution, successfully surpass the great barrel wood, be able to live forever, and roam the starry sky. Falun Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Zhibo Si Xian. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. In the 51st year of the Muye era, August 10th. 2 months later, on October 10th, Naruto Vortex will be born, and Uchiha Daitu will also transform into a masked man and attack Kiba. That night, Joe will vandalize the wooden leaves recklessly, and the 4th generation Hokage Wei Fengshui Gate, who has been in office for less than a year, will also lose his life as a result. The Nine Tails Rebellion was the best time for me to plunder the sealed book. Looking through the window at the lonely moon in the night sky, a faint light flashed in the eyes of Zhibo Xuan. Zhibo Xuan is an 11-year-old traveler who is an orphan and a student at ninja school. If nothing unexpected happens, I will graduate next year. But Zhibo Xuan does not plan to graduate honestly, because he has already had enough of Kiba and Zhibo. Ninjas are tools. Even if you are just a student at a ninja school, you are still a tool in the eyes of many big shots. They are thinking about how to make the most of you, wanting you to be their eyes, ears, or a knife for killing or a piece for sacrifice. They are trying their best to squeeze out the last drop of blood from your body. 8 Flying Sun / wants Uchiha Si Xian to monitor Uchiha. Jitsuan Tuanzang wants Zhibo Xuan to join the route. Zhibo Fuyue wants Zhibo Xuan to find ways to join the dark side. Zhibo Xuan wants to reject all of them, but is this possible? Since it's impossible, let's all agree in exchange for precious knowledge. As a traveler, Zhibo Xuan also has his golden finger, which is his talent, known as the talent of defying heaven and understanding. Overwhelming comprehension. Zhibo Xuan possesses unforgettable memory, deductive comprehension, and extraordinary computing power. So even without anyone to teach him, relying solely on the inheritance left by his parents, Uchiha Hiroshi mastered the extraordinary power called Chakra and easily learned many ninjutsu techniques. And as a member of Uchiha, Uchiha Xuan is also qualified to enter the library of the Uchiha clan and learn a lot about chakras and ninjutsu. After becoming a student at the ninja school, Uchiha Hiroshi was able to enter the library of the ninja school and learn more about chakras and ninjutsu. Finally, after agreeing to the arrangements of Monkey Flying Sun / Jitsuan Tuanzang, and Zhibo Fuyue, Zhibo Xuan also obtained 3 precious pieces of knowledge. Using this knowledge, Zhibo Xuan created a Sharingan cultivation method. Although this secret technique is called the Sharingan cultivation method, its effect is not just about strengthening the Sharingan. Opening and using the Sharingan requires the consumption of chakras, so the Sharingan cultivation method can strengthen chakras and enhance Zhibo Xuan's control over chakras. Although the Sharingan is the eye that inherits blood, it is also a part of the body. Therefore, the Sharingan cultivation method can also use chakras to strengthen the body and enhance the control ability of Zhibo Xuan over his own body. The evolution of the Sharingan is related to the spirit, and it is also the manifestation of the power of Yin Dun. Therefore, the Sharingan cultivation method can also use chakras to strengthen the spirit and enhance the control ability of Uchi Boshikuan over the spirit. When chakra, body, and mind are constantly strengthened and reach a state of balance. This allows Zhibo Xuan not only to easily activate the Sharingan, but also to easily master the three basic abilities of the Sharingan. Namely insight, hypnosis, and replication. Observe the flow of chakras, apply or see through illusions, replicants, and non-bloodline ninjutsu. Just Sangoyu's Sharingan gave Zhibo Xuan the combat power of Shanren. In addition, with the many ninjutsu techniques mastered by Uchiha Masahiro has combat power comparable to that of an elite ninja. Such a solid foundation also means that as long as Zhibo Xuan opens the Kaleidoscope Sharingan, Zhibo Xuan can directly possess shadow-level combat power. Almost. I have already felt that my Sharingan has reached the limit of the 3 Goyu Sharingan, with only one step left before it can evolve into a Kaleidoscope Sharingan. The Kaleidoscope Sharingan is the eye of spiritual reflection. As long as I have the Kaleidoscope Sharingan, I can not only use the powerful attack and defense technique of Susanoo, but also awaken 2 special pupils related to my own soul. I can't wait anymore. So let's try awakening tonight. Awakening to the Kaleidoscope requires extreme stimulation. So Yuji Boshikuan created an illusion called Infinite Nightmare. The practitioner will enter an infinite dream and deeply feel the infinite fear in their subconscious. If even the infinite nightmare cannot awaken Zhibo Xuan to the Kaleidoscope Sharingan, so Yuji Boshikuan can only try other methods. How could Yuji Boshikuan, who possesses an incredible understanding, only prepare a plan for awakening the Kaleidoscope and writing will eyes? The night has darkened. Looking at the time, it's already 11:40. It's time for a nightmare. Chapter 2. Kaleidoscope Writing Will Eyes. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Natural disasters, man-made disasters, diseases. The hemp rope is carefully picked and broken, and misfortune seeks the unfortunate. As a weak person, I am powerless in the face of all disasters. Suffer from cold and hunger, endure hardship and hard work. You are so hardworking, but all the fruits of your labor do not belong to you. You are exploited and sacrificed until the last drop of blood dries. Fairness. Justice. Do they really exist? Of course they exist. As long as you have absolute power, you are fair, you are just. Whoever wants unfairness, you can directly eliminate them. Endless nightmares. At this moment, it finally came to an end. Yuji Boshikuan opened his eyes, and a crimson radiance shone in an instant. Kaleidoscope Writing Will Eyes, the eyes of spiritual reflection. The pupil surgery of the left eye represents absolute fairness in data truth. As long as there is subjectivity in this world, absolute fairness cannot be born. Only correct data represents absolute objectivity and can create absolute fairness. The truth of data allows me to see detailed data of everything that exists. The right eye pupil surgery represents the supreme mind of absolute justice. As long as there is still emotion in this world, absolute justice cannot be born. Only a mind without any emotion can achieve absolute rationality and create absolute fairness. The supreme mind can allow me to enter an absolute state of rationality without any emotions. Both of these pupillary surgeries are auxiliary pupillary surgeries and can be used in conjunction with reverse perception. Very good, it fits my heart very well. With the assistance of the 2 pupil techniques of data truth and supreme intelligence, I am able to optimize the writing will I practice method using my supernatural intelligence. And perform a deduction of all the ninjutsu I have mastered and created, trying to create a comprehensive set of combat ninjutsu. After awakening the Kaleidoscope Sharingan, Yuji Boshikuan could clearly feel that the chakra inside his body had undergone a certain property change, becoming closer to the Indun chakra, and the quality had also been strengthened to a certain extent. This change was also expected by Zhibo Xuan. After all, every evolution of the Sharingan enhances the quality of chakra. As a combination of physical and mental energy, chakra naturally affects both the body and mind. It is precisely because of this that a common sense has emerged for the ninjas of the Uchiha clan. That is, the first Goyu Sharingan corresponds to the combat power of the lower ninja, the second Goyu Sharingan corresponds to the combat power of the middle ninja, and the third Goyu Sharingan corresponds to the combat power of the upper ninja. Of course, normally, ninjas of the Uchiha clan who have awakened their Sharingan will also master other ninjutsu techniques. So in reality, the ninjas of the Uchiha clan are much stronger than their peers. Therefore, Uchiha ninjas who awaken their Uchiha Sharingan generally possess combat power higher than the lower ninja and comparable to the middle ninja. And the Uchiha ninjas who awaken the Kaleidoscope Sharingan naturally possess shadow-level combat power, and are not just ordinary shadows. Feeling the subtle changes in his body, Zhibo Xuan roughly understood how to optimize the writing will-I cultivation method. After all, the Kaleidoscope Sharingan is still the blood inheritance limit of the Yin Dun attribute. After awakening the Kaleidoscope Sharingan, it has the highest increase in my spiritual reinforcement, followed by chakra and the lowest in my body. However, significant mental strengthening is also a good thing for the body. The strengthening of my spirit has greatly improved my perceptual ability, which represents my ability to perceive the detailed state of my body more clearly. Combined with the powerful auxiliary technique of data truth, I can fully digitize my physical state. Not only can the body be digitized, but also chakras and spirits can be digitized. I need to optimize the Sharingan practice method so that my body, mind, and chakra can be fully strengthened and reach a balanced state. And I know that the Kaleidoscope Sharingan is not an eternal Kaleidoscope Sharingan. Using it too much can lead to blindness. So I need to use the Sharingan practice method to minimize the side effects of using the Kaleidoscope Sharingan as much as possible, so that I have enough time to evolve the Kaleidoscope Sharingan into an eternal Kaleidoscope Sharingan. After thinking about all of this, Zhibo Xuan restrained his thoughts. Since I have already considered it clearly, let me experience the effects of data truth and the highest level of intelligence. After a psychological murmur, Zhibo Xuan directly activated these two pupil techniques. The kaleidoscope pattern in the left and right eyes quickly rotates. Zhibo Xuan also entered an absolute rational state without any emotions in an instant, and through his powerful perceptual ability, he perceives everything about himself, forming detailed data in his mind. Muscles, bones, heartbeat, respiration, blood flow rate, mental intensity, chakra mass. Chapter 3. Pupil Surgery and Overwhelming Understanding. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You use your highest level of intelligence to enter an absolute rational state without any emotions, perceive your own state through strong perceptual abilities, use data truth to transform everything of yourself into data, and finally optimize the Sharingan cultivation method with supernatural understanding due to the huge optimization effect. The Sharingan cultivation method has been upgraded to the Kaleidoscope cultivation method, which not only greatly strengthens your body, mind, and chakra, but also enhances your load-bearing capacity for the Kaleidoscope Sharingan, reducing the side effects when using it after completing the optimization of the Sharingan cultivation method. By Uchiha Xuan, the crimson radiance in his eyes also turned into nothingness, and the Sharingan in the kaleidoscope turned into ordinary black and white eyes. The optimization is completed, and the effect is much stronger than I imagined. With the help of the powerful auxiliary techniques of high intelligence and data truth, I directly optimized the writing will I practice method to the kaleidoscope practice method, and I even have other inspirations. If I continue to upgrade the kaleidoscope practice method, I will be inspired. Although both data truth and supreme mind are auxiliary types of pupil surgery, the Kaleidoscope Sharingan also has a combat type pupil surgery that combines attack and defense. Susanoo. If you continue to upgrade the Kaleidoscope Sharingan, it is necessary to make it have the effect of strengthening Susanoo. Enhance the power of Suzo Ninghu's pupil technique to the extreme. What kind of effect will that produce? Zhibo Xuan is looking forward to it very much. However, the current Zhibo Xuan does not have enough time or knowledge storage to continue upgrading to the Kaleidoscope cultivation method. Next, Zhibo Xuan also needs to create a comprehensive set of combat ninjutsu. As a Uchiha Xuan naturally possesses excellent talent for fire evasion. So the battle ninjutsu to be created next naturally focuses on fire escape. Attack, defense, movement, the two most impressive techniques for attacking ninjutsu in this world for me are naturally Spiral Maru and Chihiro. However, Qianyao needs to be imprinted, so I prefer the spiral pill that doesn't require imprinting. But I don't think the spiral pill is suitable for me, so I plan to create a more suitable ninjutsu for me. Uzi Wave Flow Swordsmanship doesn't require a seal to cut out the flame blade with a ninja sword. So why can't I abandon the ninja sword and release the flame blade with my bare hands? There is also the woodleaf fluid technique, which can attach chakras to the feet and kick out chakra whirlwinds, wind and fire. It feels like a perfect match. So why can't I combine Uchiha Wave Swordsmanship with Kiba fluid technique? This not only allows for close combat, but also enables long-range attacks. Also, I can now see detailed data on my physical condition and have mastered the technique of using chakras to influence myself. If I consider chakra as internal power and true chi, can I restore some martial arts moves from martial arts novels? It seems that some settings in Chinese martial arts novels can also be referred to. Thinking of this, Zhibo Xuan also came up with inspiration and immediately used the two pupil techniques of Zhigao Mind and Data Truth again. When the crimson radiance shone in his eyes, and the kaleidoscope pattern rapidly rotated, Uchiha Xuan once again entered an absolute rational state without any emotion. With a large amount of data emerging in my mind, an attack-type invincible ninjutsu was quickly constructed. You use your highest level of intelligence to enter an absolute rational state without any emotions, and use all your own data to perfectly combine Uzi Wave Flow Swordsmanship with woodleaf fluid technique. Referring to the moves and settings in martial arts and Chinese martial arts novels, you create the Flame Blade Flow Ninja Body Technique. Flame Blade Flow Ninja Technique, each punch and foot of your body can produce one or more blazing blades, which are hot, sharp, and have many powerful combat moves. Flame Blade Flow Ninja Technique. Seeing the ninja technique, it naturally reminded Uchiha Xuan of Lei Ying. In the Third Ninja World War, Sandai Reikage fought alone against an enemy army of up to 10,000 ninjas. After 3 days and 3 nights of fighting, he died exhausted. When the 4th generation Thunder Shadow was young, he once cut off the left corner of the 8 tails with one hand, with astonishing speed second only to the Wave Wind Water Gate, which mastered the Flying Thunder God technique, and was also known as the Blue Lightning. And whether it's the 3rd or 4th generation Thunder Shadow, their strongest skill is the ninja technique called the Thunder Dun Chakra mode. The Thunder Dun Chakra mode can wrap powerful lightning around the body for attack or defense. In the Thunder Dun Chakra mode, the caster has extremely fast movement speed and strong damage avoidance ability. So the Thunder Escape Chakra mode is also known as the strongest Thunder Escape armor. Great, defensive ninjutsu knows how to create it and directly plagiarizes the Raiden Chakra mode. No. It should be said to be a reference. Referring to the Thunder Escape Chakra mode, create the Fire Escape Chakra mode. The Fire Escape Chakra mode not only enhances the power of Flame Blade Flow Ninja technique, but also forms the Fire Escape armor, giving oneself strong defense. It feels very perfect. Chapter 4. Fire Escape Chakra Mode. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You use your highest level of intelligence to enter an absolute rational state without any emotions, use all your own data, refer to the Thunder Dun Chakra pattern, and combine relevant knowledge in your brain about chakra form changes and fire-done nature changes to create the fire-done chakra pattern. The fire escape chakra mode is a double dot layer structure, with the inner layer being a chakra isolation layer that can protect oneself and isolate high temperatures. The outer layer is the fire escape chakra layer, which appears as a blazing flame and has strong attack and defense capabilities. Your spiritual light flashes, and based on the nature of the fire escape chakra, you combine the fire escape chakra mode with the instantaneous body technique to create the treading flame instantaneous body technique. By compressing and spraying flames, you gain powerful explosive power, increase speed, and even be able to fly at low altitudes. Now not only have defensive ninjutsu been completed, but mobile ninjutsu has also been created. With the fire escape chakra mode, flame blade flow ninja technique, and treading flame instantaneous body technique, I am now able to construct a new, comprehensive, and powerful combat mode. As the crimson radiance in his eyes faded, Uchiha Hiroshi also felt a slight sense of soreness in his eyes. Although the current feeling of soreness and swelling is still mild, it will definitely affect vision as it accumulates. As vision decreases, it will eventually lead to insomnia. It seems that before the evolution of the Kaleidoscope Sharingan into the Eternal Kaleidoscope Sharingan, the two pupil techniques of Data Truth and Supreme Mind cannot be used arbitrarily. Speaking of which, I still don't know what the pattern of my kaleidoscope writing will I is. Thinking of this, Yuji Boshixuan walked up to the mirror. With a thought, a crimson radiance suddenly shone. This is a four-pointed star. It looks very much like a red raw stone. But it's still quite handsome. I just don't know what the pattern of this four-pointed star will look like after these kaleidoscope writing will eyes evolve into eternal kaleidoscope writing will eyes. This idea flashed through Yuji Boshixuan's mind. Forget it, I don't want to do that much. I'm hungry. Brush my teeth, wash my face, and then cook and eat. After carefully brushing his teeth and washing his face, Yuji Boshixuan began cooking. Because he awakened his innate talent of supernatural intelligence, Yuji Boshixuan mastered a high level of culinary skills solely by recalling cooking videos he had watched in his past life. Very simple ingredients, in the hands of Yuji Boshixuan, also have first-class deliciousness. Eat and drink enough. It's time to go to school. Many of Zhibo's classmates are familiar faces. The divine moon rises from the clouds, steel and iron, water and wood, moonlight and wind, and the sea and fields of Irika. But they are all mediocre people. There's nothing worth paying attention to. Of course, just because Yuji Boshixuan doesn't pay attention to these mediocre people doesn't mean they won't pay attention to Yuji Boshixuan. Yuji Bo Si Xian. After hard training, I have finally mastered the ultimate skill that can defeat you. Just wait for today's practical lesson, I will surely defeat you beautifully under the moonlight and take away your age first place. Cough. With dark circles under his eyes and a pale face, the moonlight wind couldn't help but cough twice after speaking harshly. After glancing at the moonlight gust, Zhibo replied indifferently, "Okay, I'm waiting for you." After speaking, Yuji Boshixuan turned his gaze to the book, The Close Relationship Between Chakra and the Body. A thousand-handed opening, in his hand. This book comes from the collection of Jitsuan Tuan, and Yuji Si Xian only feels that the wisdom in the thousand-handed field is far beyond ordinary. Moreover, the detailed data in this book cannot be obtained without extensive human experiments. It can only be said that Qianshou Kaijian is truly a developer of many forbidden techniques. Where did the data come from without sacrifice? How can we create so many forbidden spells? Of course, Yuji Boshixuan is very aware of the cruelty of this world. It is very normal for the weak to be sacrificed. If you don't want to be sacrificed, you must master absolute power. Only with absolute power can you be qualified to talk about fairness and justice. So until he possesses absolute power, Yuji Boshixuan will not care about the unfairness of this world, because caring cannot change anything. What I need to do now is to constantly learn and become stronger. Converge your thoughts, concentrate your mind, and Uchiha Si Xian is fully absorbed in the precious knowledge in the books. As for the moonlight wind, looking at the indifferent posture of Uchiha Si Xuan, he felt angry but helpless. He could only secretly swear in his heart that he would make Uchiha Si Xuan look good in practical classes. The divine moon rises from the clouds, and steel, iron, water and wood, as well as Irika hay, and others, all show signs of anticipation upon seeing this scene. Second in age, once again challenge first in age. Looking at the moonlight and strong winds, perhaps there is a chance of winning this time. Of course, almost all girls do not believe that Uchiha Hisahara will lose to Moonlight Breeze. This is not only because Yuji Bushikuan has never lost. Moreover, although Moonlight Wind is not ugly, it is much inferior to Uchiha Si Xian. For them, appearance is justice. What does Moonlight Breeze compare to Yuji Si Xian? Chapter 5. Indifference and Pride. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the cultural class, Uchiha and Si Xian are all reading extracurricular books to learn advanced knowledge. Of course, the teachers will not manage Uchiha and Si Xian. It wasn't until the practical lesson that Uchiha Si Xian put down the book in his hand. At this moment, the Moonlight Breeze was already eager to challenge Uchiha Si Xian. Teacher, I want to challenge Uchiha Si Xian. After gathering at the training ground, Moonlight Breeze spoke up first. The teacher of Uchiha's practical lesson is a quiet middle-aged man. He looked at Moonlight Breeze and then at Uchiha Si Xian, and calmly agreed to Moonlight Breeze's request. Okay. Since the teachers have all agreed, Uchiha Si Xian naturally has no objection. Defeat the moonlight and wind as soon as possible, and you will also be able to be cleaner. It hasn't been much time since the Nine Tails Rebellion, and in this short period of time, Uchiha Si Xuan doesn't want to cause trouble and create trouble. I hope after defeating you this time, you can be honest for a period of time. Because I really don't want to be wasted by you. Do you understand? Moonlight gusts. Uchiha's expression was indifferent, and there was no emotional fluctuation in his tone. And this also made the moonlight wind feel a bit inexplicably oppressive. He listened to Uchiha's words and was filled with unwillingness and anger. Uchiha Si Xian is indeed very strong, having defeated himself time and time again. But even the moonlight and wind are not weak. Why is Uchiha Bushikuan so arrogant? Do you look down on yourself so much? Am I wasting his time? Okay. This time, I'll show you my true strength. Uchiha Bushikuan, you are really too arrogant. Let's wait until you defeat me before we talk about these words. I will use the sword in my hand to prove my strength. Moonlight Breeze clenched the handle of the knife and looked at Uchiha Si Xuan with fiery eyes. Confidence is a good thing, blind confidence is like a clown. Let's start straight. I will show you the gap between the two of us, it's like a cloud or mud. As he spoke, Uchiha and Si Xian also formed a seal of opposition. The people around listened to Uchiha's words and looked at his tall and proud posture. Many boys just think that Uchiha Bushikuan is too pretentious. Some boys also think that the posture of Uchiha Si Xian is too handsome. And almost all the girls feel that Uchiha Bushikuan's posture is simply handsome and cool, leaving them with no resistance at all. Even some girls scream directly. Although Uchiha Bushikuan has long been accustomed to it, he also feels that girls in this world are indeed precocious. As for the moonlight and wind, he no longer wants to speak now. Because he knew that he couldn't say anything about Uchiha and Si Xian. Since that's the case, let's start directly. Okay. After responding, he also formed a seal of opposition. Afterwards, practical exercises begin. Without any patience, the moonlight wind unleashed his recently mastered move. Woodleaf flow swordsmanship. 3-day moon dance. Quickly seal and summon 2 shadow clones using the technique of shadow clones. Then, 3 months of light and rapid wind swiftly approached the enemy in front of them, attacking the crucial points of Uchiha Shirshin in 3 directions. Left, top, and right. Wow, what move is this? It's so handsome. Maybe we can really win this challenge of Moonlight Wind. However, the Moonlight Winds would leaf flow swordsmanship. 3-day moon dance is indeed very handsome and powerful. But Zhibo's flame blade flow ninja technique is even more handsome and powerful. Extend your right hand and make a grasping motion. However, in an instant, Huadun Chakra gathered in his palm and turned into a blazing hot flame. With a casual flick, the flame split into 3 in the next moment, transforming into 3 blazing blades, roaring out and accurately slashing towards the 3 moonlight winds. Bang! Bang! The 2 clones of the moonlight and wind were instantly cut off by the blazing blade. As for the essence of moonlight and wind, Zhibo Xuan watched as the moonlight and wind slashed out with a sword, and chakra attached to the blade, shining with a deep blue light. This strike is strong for ninja school students, but it is too weak for Uchiha Shirshin. How could he cut off the blazing blade? Even if this blazing blade is just a casual blow from Zhibo Xuan. Bang! The strong impact instantly knocked the moonlight and wind away. I fell to the ground and rolled for nearly 3 meters before stopping. The people around me watched this scene, and even the teacher felt incredibly shocked. This is too handsome, isn't it? What kind of ninjutsu is this? Why is Uchiha no Kami able to release ninjutsu? Surprisingly defeated the moonlight wind with just 1 strike. Sure enough, Zhibo Xuan's strength is much stronger than moonlight wind. It's not bad that it's Sichuan Jun. Not only so handsome, but also so powerful. I'll say it for the last time, don't waste my time again in the future. Zhibo Sichuan calmly spoke to the moonlight wind, and as he spoke, he formed a seal of reconciliation. Chapter 6. Clouds and Mud, Fish and Birds. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I got it. The disheveled moonlight and wind answered with a slightly trembling voice, his eyes seeming to be filled with a hint of despair. The just blow has completely shattered his confidence, his pride, and his perseverance. He suddenly realized something, and Zhibo Xuan was right. The gap between them is like a cloud and mud. In his lifetime, he is unlikely to catch up with Zhibo and Xuan. And he is indeed wasting the time of Zhibo Xuan. Upon seeing the expression of moonlight and wind, Zhibo Xuan knew that he would definitely not come to find him in the short term. That's good. After a response, Zhibo Xuan retreated into the crowd and silently mobilized chakra to perform the kaleidoscope cultivation method. With the influx of chakras into the 4 limbs, 5 organs and 6 viscera, continuous flushing, various tissues and organs of the human body have also been exercised. This also includes the eyes. As chakra flooded into his eyes, Zhibo Xuan could clearly feel the subtle changes in his eyes. As the 3 Goyu Sharingan evolved into the Kaleidoscope Sharingan, his own eyes naturally underwent certain changes. Although the kaleidoscope cultivation method can comprehensively strengthen the body, mind, and chakra, since it is called the kaleidoscope cultivation method, its main function is naturally to strengthen the kaleidoscope. To carry and use the power of a kaleidoscope, it naturally requires a strong physique, a resilient spirit, and a high-quality chakra. All of these, the kaleidoscope cultivation method, can be possessed by a Zhibo Xuan. Although chakra cannot be called omnipotent, it can also be considered omnipotent, but my perception and control over chakra are not strong enough. If I could sense every cell in the human body and have a cellular level control over chakras, I could even directly strengthen the human body at the cellular level. At that time, the kaleidoscope cultivation method can even be directly upgraded to the cell enhancement method. If all the cells in the human body are strengthened, these 2 eyes of blood inheritance will naturally be strengthened. Of course, the effect of the Kaleidoscope cultivation method is comprehensive and balanced. With the improvement of physical fitness, mental strength, and chakra quality, my perception ability and control over chakra will naturally be enhanced. This also means that as I continue to cultivate, I am destined to become stronger and create more powerful cultivation methods, and then continue to become stronger, even breaking my own limits. Perhaps, as long as I keep practicing, the Kaleidoscope Sharingan can evolve into the Eternal Kaleidoscope Sharingan, and the Eternal Kaleidoscope Sharingan will also evolve into the Reincarnation Eye. However, Zhibo Xuan is also aware that since he knows what conditions are needed for the Kaleidoscope Sharingan to evolve into an Eternal Kaleidoscope Sharingan and a Reincarnation Eye, there is no need to silently cultivate oneself. The speed of becoming stronger is really too slow. What I want is to become stronger through the fastest and most stable method. In the Nine Tails Rebellion, I plundered the sealed book and then went to find Bailuhu and Gangsho. Thinking of this, a ray of fiery heat flashed in the eyes of Zhibo Xuan. Having the ability to possess extraordinary intelligence requires a wealth of knowledge to fully unleash it. The Book of Seals records many precious knowledge, such as the 8 gates of escaping armor, the art of spirituality, the art of flying thunder god in the space domain, the art of rebirth of dirty earth in the life and death domain, and so on. After acquiring this knowledge, Zhibo Xuan knew that his strength would inevitably undergo a significant improvement. Strengthen your body with the 8 gates of escaping armor, enhance your spirit with spiritual techniques, and control the power of space with the flying thunder god technique. Just these 3 techniques alone are enough to qualitatively enhance the combat effectiveness of Zhibo Xuan. And other spells will also become the nourishment of Uchiha Xuan, and there is even a high possibility that Uchiha Xuan can upgrade the Kaleidoscope cultivation method. Perhaps, after obtaining the sealed book, even if you don't open the Kaleidoscope Sharingan, you will still have shadow-level combat power. So, after opening the Kaleidoscope, how powerful will one have in terms of combat power? This kind of combat power is enough to make Zhibo Xuan crush Bailuhu and Gangsho. At that time, Zhibo Xuan will be able to obtain the technique of Guye Yaluo. By utilizing his supernatural intelligence to optimize the technique of Guye Yaluo, it is very likely that Zhibo Xuan will create a secret technique that can obtain blood inheritance through devouring. In this way, Zhibo Xuan can not only complete his chakra attributes, but also master other bloodline boundaries, and even promote the evolution of the Kaleidoscope Sharingan, and even master the power of bloodline recruitment. As for Gangsho, whether it is her bloodline, the knowledge in her mind, or the slug immortal she contracted, all have extremely high value. Almost. It won't be long before I can attain freedom. From then on, the vast sea allows fish to leap, and the sky allows birds to fly. Chapter 7. Solitude and Self. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As the bell rang for the end of class, the practical lesson also ended. As the last cultural class is over, it's time to finish school. Zhibo and Xuan still come and go alone. On the way out of school, a small figure appeared behind Zhibo and Xuan. On her tender face, there are clear tears. Looking at the back of Zhibo Xuan, Zhibo Itachi's eyes couldn't help but show a hint of strangeness. He certainly knows who Zhibo Xuan is. And Zhibo Itachi is very good at collecting intelligence, so he also knows about what happened this afternoon. Not only do they know, but they also know in great detail. He is very precocious and also very familiar with Uchiha. He was aware of Uchiha's arrogance, but he felt that Uchiha was different from other Uchiha. Because Zhibo Xuan seems to be more proud, indifferent, and lonely than other Zhibo. Moreover, the arrogance of Uchiha Xuan seems to be different from the arrogance of other Uchiha. The other Uchiha is proud because of the surname Uchiha and because of writing will eyes. But it seems that Zhibo Xuan is proud of himself. During his 5 years at ninja school, Uchiha Hiroshi had no friends and was always alone, enjoying reading and not being disturbed. Such people it seems to be somewhat similar to him. Last year, at the age of 4, he went to the battlefield and witnessed the cruelty of war. This made him ponder deeply and also made him, who was already precocious, even more precocious. He only felt that his peers were incredibly childish. So now he doesn't have any friends, but he is also longing for friends. He looked at the back of Zhibo Xuan, hesitated for a moment, and finally decided to say hello. Senior Xuan. Upon hearing the familiar yet unfamiliar voice, Zhibo Xuan turned his head and glanced at Zhibo Itachi. Looking at the expression of Uchiha Itachi with a very obvious intention, Uchiha Shirshian guessed Uchiha Itachi's purpose. I know you, Uchiha Itachi. But I'm not interested in you, and I don't need friends. So you can shut up now. A calm and indifferent voice reached Uchiha Itachi's ears, but it also made Uchiha Itachi slightly stunned. He didn't expect Zhibo Xuan to say such words. But upon careful consideration, it seems very normal for Zhibo Xuan to say such words. This made Uchiha Itachi's mood inevitably become low. Yes. After responding, Zhibo Itachi politely bowed to Zhibo Xuan. After responding, Zhibo Xuan continued to walk forward expressionlessly. Zhibo Xuan certainly knows that Zhibo Itachi is very polite. But no matter how polite he is, it doesn't hinder his innate ruthlessness. In this world, it seems that all strong people will kill people in order to achieve their goals. Zhibo Itachi, in order to achieve his goal, does not mind annihilating the Zhibo clan. He has the power, and of course, he can slaughter the weak and make them sacrifice. It's just that the killer keeps killing them. What if he is weak? Will he willingly be killed by the strong and become an unnamed victim? Although the law of the jungle is one of the laws of nature. But in human society, Zhibo Xuan did not want it to be so bloody and dark. So when you have absolute power, you will definitely transform this world. However, until he possesses absolute power, Zhibo Xuan does not mind using the laws of this world. In no time, Zhibo Xuan arrived home. Put down your backpack, then cook and eat. After eating and drinking enough, Zhibo continued his cultivation. Just this time, Zhibo Xuan sat cross-legged and closed his eyes. By using chakras to strengthen your body, you only need to use chakras to wash away your limbs, organs, and internal organs, but to use chakras to strengthen the mind, it is necessary to hold your breath, relax your body and mind, and visualize yourself. As a semi-transparent self emerges from the mind, bones, blood vessels, muscles, 5 organs, 6 organs, brain. And most importantly, a kaleidoscope. With the help of the technique of data truth, the part of the kaleidoscope cultivation method that uses chakras to strengthen the mind has been greatly improved, and the self-visualization has become extremely detailed and concrete. In this process, the self also becomes clearer. The kaleidoscope Sharingan is the blood inheritance limit of the Yin Dun attribute. Yin Dun is a spiritual force that can create form in nothingness. So, can my imagined self, with the help of the power of the kaleidoscope chakra, transform from nothingness to reality? I can clearly feel that my imagined self is becoming more detailed and authentic. Perhaps when my spiritual strength reaches a certain level of reinforcement, I can use the power of the kaleidoscope chakra to concretize my imagined self. However, speaking of it, the essence of Susanoo seems to be to use the power of a kaleidoscope to materialize the chakra, thereby constructing a chakra giant. Thinking of this, Zhibo's mind suddenly burst with many inspirations. Chapter 8. Chess Players and Chess Pieces. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhibo Xuan knows that the stars in Xingyin Village have special powers, which can enable the ninjas in Xingyin Village to cultivate a special secret technique. The Peacock Technique. This secret technique can materialize chakras and transform them into beasts for combat. It not only integrates attack and defense, but also absorbs enemy chakras. Even the wings condensed from chakras can be used for flight. So, if we change the appearance of the peacock technique and turn the chakra beast into a chakra giant, can the peacock technique become the Susanoo technique? If one is using their supernatural intelligence to optimize the Susanoo magic, can the Susanoo magic have power comparable to Susanoo? Or, in other words, if I combine the wonderful technique of Susanoo with Susanoo, can I strengthen the power of Susanoo? Created from nothing. Chakra materializes. Moreover, the Susanoo is armored and armed, and Uchiha is capable of attaching it to the Nine Tails body, using the Susanoo's power suit. So can I put Susanoo on myself? There is also the technique of spiritual transformation, which can separate one's mind from the body, transform into a spiritual body, and attach oneself to the enemy, causing the enemy's spirit to collapse from within and die. But the spiritual body itself has the consciousness of the caster, and its use may not be limited to possession and killing. In addition, spiritual bodies can also perceive other people's souls, regardless of how far away they are or whether they know the other person's location beforehand. After transforming into spiritual bodies, they can reach the other person's body. Many things can be done based on the situation and the user's thoughts, such as transmitting intelligence or confirming the other person's life and death, and can also be used to provide chakras for the other person. Self can also be a spiritual body. Spiritual bodies can also be used to carry chakras. Since that's the case, can I imagine multiple selves use spiritual techniques to create multiple spiritual bodies, and then apply Susanoo to the spiritual bodies? Although the effect of doing so is similar to Uchiha's summoning of multiple shadow clones and allowing shadow clones to use Susanoo. But the spiritual body transformed by the self is different from the shadow clone, and I want the Susanoo that I want to put on the spiritual body to be different from the ordinary Susanoo. If this idea succeeds, I may be able to master a summoning type of ninjutsu and summon a Susanoo army in an instant. It would be a spectacular scene to think of. But now I don't have any spiritual techniques or stars. So it's too early to think about these things now, we can only say that the future is worth a try. Thinking of this, Zhibo Xuan also restrained his thoughts, and now it's time to wholeheartedly run the Kaleidoscope cultivation method. Meanwhile, Zhibo Fuyue, Ape Flying Rigian, and Jitsuan Tuanzang have also received the latest intelligence from Zhibo Xuan. They certainly know that Zhibo Xuan has great talent, otherwise it would be impossible for them to find ways to turn Zhibo Xuan into their chess piece. So they were not surprised by Zhibo Xuan's victory over Moonlight Wind. Their focus is on the methods used by Zhibo Xuan to defeat the Moonlight Wind. Flames erupted from the palm of the hand, and with a casual flick of the flames, they transformed into 3 flame blades, easily defeating the Moonlight Wind. Zhibo Fuyue is both familiar and unfamiliar with this move. Is this Yuji Wave Flow swordsmanship? Can Yuji Wave Xian release Yuji Wave Flow swordsmanship with his hands? Or did he make some modifications to Yuji Wave Flow swordsmanship? Unexpectedly, Zhibo Xuan still has this talent. That's also good. The higher the talent, the easier it is to get the reuse of Hokage and be able to enter the dark side more smoothly. However, since Zhibo's talent is more outstanding than I imagined, perhaps I can increase my investment. Send someone to deliver him a high-level fire escape tomorrow. Zhibo Fuyue's heart was filled with confidence, believing that he could easily hold Zhibo Xuan. Increasing investment and giving a high-level fire escape to Zhibo Xuan seems like a high-ranking charity, a means to control Zhibo Xuan. After handling the matter of Zhibo Xuan in a simple manner, Zhibo Fuyue began to handle other family affairs. On the other side, Ape Flying Sun / looked at the latest intelligence from Uchiha Xuan and his thoughts turned to the same inference as Uchiha Fuyue. You truly deserve to be part of the Uchiha clan. Zhibo Xuan, this young man who inherited the will of fire, surprisingly has such talent. But this is also a good thing. When he grows up, I will be able to use him to influence the Uchiha clan and make them more honest and peaceful. I just can't be careless, after all, Zhibo Xuan is also a Zhibo. That's it. The monkey flying sun silently recorded the latest intelligence of Zhibo Xuan in his heart, and then went to think about other issues. He regarded Zhibo Xuan as a chess piece. What if a mere chess piece has some talent? As Hokage, he believed he had 1,000 ways to manipulate this chess piece. Chapter 9. Peering in Baits. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Root Base. Humph, the inherently evil Uchiha little ghost. Jitsuan Tuanzang clearly has prejudice against Zhibo Xuan, and there is still some hatred in his eyes. However, Zhibo and Si Xian have already agreed to join Gen after graduation. So, Jitsuan Tuanzang can also restrain his prejudice and hatred towards Zhibo Xuan. Looking at the latest intelligence from Zhibo Xuan, he is also able to make accurate judgments. I didn't expect this little ghost to have such talent. Although it's a bit regrettable, joining the root requires self-destruction training that can affect this creative talent. But there's no other way. Zhibo, who cannot be completely controlled by me. It is destined to bring disaster to my. For the sake of Kiba, Uchiha should be completely under my control. If I can't completely control it, it should be destroyed. Kiba, there's no need for a tumor called Uchiha. Everything is for the sake of the leaves. Jitsuan Tuanzang seems righteous, everything is for the sake of the leaves, and anything can be sacrificed for the leaves. But it's really his turn to sacrifice, can he really do it? Moreover, he is naturally suspicious and doesn't believe anyone, only believing in tools that he has complete control over. But who would be willing to become a tool without oneself? Jitsuan Tuanzang silently memorized the latest information about Zhibo Xuan in his heart. He began to think about how he should deal with Zhibo Si Xian and whether he needed to increase investment. Soon, he has made a decision. I know that Zhibo Xuan is not honest. He has contact with Zhibo Fuyue and Ape Flying Sun / So I'll just wait and see if Zhibo Fuyue and Ape Flying Sun / will take any action. If possible, I might also want to get in touch with this Zhibo Si Xian and determine what his current thoughts are. At Kiba, no one can betray me. My benefits are not so easy to swallow. A cold light flashed in his eyes, and Jitsuan Tuanzang also made a decision. The next day. After school, Zhibo Fuyue sent someone to find Zhibo Si Xian. Your Highness, clan leader. Zhibo Si Xian spoke calmly and confidently. Si Xian, you're here. With a slight smile, Zhibo Fuyue looked at Zhibo Xuan. A straight posture, a handsome face, and a calm and indifferent temperament. This image is very consistent with the Uchiha clan. Well, I know you're a genius, Si Xian. So I've been following you all along, I already know what happened yesterday. You easily defeated the challenger, maintained your age-first position, and also upheld the reputation of the Uchiha clan. I am very satisfied with your grades. And if you're not mistaken, your move to defeat the Moonlight Wind should have originated from the Uzi Wave Flow swordsmanship. Being able to create such a move based on the Uchiha Wave Sword technique, your talent is even more outstanding than I believe. In the future, you will surely become the pride of the Uchiha clan. Zhibo Fuyue looked very optimistic and appreciated the appearance of Zhibo Xuan. But Zhibo Xuan was able to see through Zhibo Fuyue's performance and his hypocrisy. Of course, how can this be manifested? Thank you very much for the appreciation from the clan chief. Although Zhibo's posture is still neither humble nor arrogant. But the slightly raised corners of his mouth also made Zhibo Fuyue very satisfied. He certainly understands the personality of Uchiha Shurshin. It is also known that such a small gesture by Zhibo Xuan proves that his words are useful to Zhibo Xuan. Sure enough, it's easy to grasp. He felt both proud and confident in his heart. After a slight pause, he took out a pair of scrolls. "This is my encouragement for you, I hope you can continue to maintain your excellence." "Thank you." Zhibo's seemingly cautious thanks. "Alright, I know you haven't eaten yet. You still need to practice after finishing your meal, so I won't waste your time. Goodbye." "Goodbye, Lord Clan Leader." Zhibo's acting skills are quite outstanding, which also greatly satisfies Zhibo Fuyue. Zhibo Fuyue felt that it was very easy to hold on to Zhibo Xuan, and Zhibo Xuan was destined to not escape his palm. As for Zhibo Xuan, his gaze returned to Indifference after leaving Zhibo Fuyue's sight. Returning to his residence, he put down his backpack and opened the scroll in his hand. It turned out to be the technique of fire escape. Dragon Flame Songs. Zhibo Xuan remembers this fire escape ninjutsu, which can spit out 4 fire dragons in one gulp. It is not only very magnificent, but also extremely powerful. With this technique, Uchiha can even directly suppress the 5 shadows. Wait a minute. Surprisingly, there are notes left by predecessors on it. It's a bit interesting. This person has such a deep understanding of fire escape ninjutsu. Is it difficult to say that this is the cultivation note left by Zhibo? It doesn't seem impossible either. Perhaps I can optimize the flame blade flow ninja technique with this scroll. Thinking of this, Zhibo Xuan sat at his desk holding a ninjutsu scroll, intending to finish reading it before going to cook. Chapter 10. 2 Upgrade Routes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You refer to the technique of Dragon Flame Song in Fire Escape, as well as previous notes on the cultivation of Fire Escape ninjutsu, and optimize the Flame Blade Flow ninjutsu technique to create a new move. Flame Blade Jugu, which cuts out 4 huge flame fire blades. To some extent, you can control the movement trajectory of these 4 flame fire blades, causing widespread damage. Cutting out 4 blazing blades is not a big deal, but being able to affect the blazing blade's movement trajectory can significantly increase hit rate. Good optimization. But now my control over the fire escape chakra is still too weak. If the fire escape chakra leaves my body, I can still perfectly control it, so that I can create more fire escape ninjutsu. I feel that the flame blade flow ninja technique can be upgraded in this direction. Zhibo Xuan recorded this inspiration. Haramoto Uchiha's future upgrade plan for the Flame Blade Flow Ninja technique is to complete his chakra attribute and master the blood inheritance limit through devouring or fusing after obtaining the technique of Balayu Ghost Sprout. Then integrate the power of blood inheritance into the Flame Blade Flow Ninja technique, continuously upgrading the Flame Blade Flow Ninja technique. But now it seems that there may be another way for me to upgrade, which is to constantly strengthen my control over chakra and create more and stronger moves. Of course, these 2 upgrade routes are not contradictory and can be carried out simultaneously. While controlling the more powerful blood inheritance limit, integrate the blood inheritance limit into the Flame Blade Flow Ninja technique. While strengthening one's chakra control ability, create more and stronger moves. I believe that the Flame Blade Flow Ninja technique will become even more powerful after receiving dual upgrades. After receiving the sealed book, I should also be able to use the knowledge above to continue optimizing the Flame Blade Flow Ninja technique. As for now, I should still work hard to cultivate the Kaleidoscope cultivation method, striving to use it before the 9 Tails Rebellion to exercise my physical, mental, and chakra to a balanced intensity and state. Perceiving one's current state, the mental intensity is approximately 19% stronger than the chakra mass and 32% stronger than the physical fitness. Based on one's own cultivation speed, there should be no problem achieving it. Root Base. The monkey flying sun / had no movement, but Zhibo Fuyue met Zhibo Xuan and gave him a ninjutsu scroll. Jitsuan Tuanzang listened to the report from his subordinates, with a hint of contemplation in his eyes. The monkey flying sun / has taken such an action, so it's not easy for him to handle it. After all, the monkey flying sun / is a nominal Hokage. It is normal for Zhibo Fuyue to come into contact with Zhibo Xuan and even give him a reward. After all, Uchiha Fuyue is the head of the Uchiha clan. And the surname of Uchiha is Uchiha. For these ninjas of the ninja tribe, they not only have a fire shadow on their heads, but also a clan leader. So in their hearts, is the family more important or the village more important? It is precisely because they are not loyal enough to the leaves that they will decline. If I could become Hokage, I would definitely rectify this phenomenon. Eliminate all the poisonous tumors on the leaves of the wood. But now, I can't do that yet. After a moment of contemplation, Zhizuan Tuanzang's heart also made a decision. Zhibo Xuan is very important. If he can join the root, it would be like burying a thorn in my Zhibo clan. So this time, I not only need to interact with Zhibo Xuan, but also need to give him a reward, which must be heavier than Zhibo Fuyue's. As long as I can ensure that Zhibo Xuan joins the root after graduation, I won't be at a loss. If he doesn't join. I naturally have the means to eliminate this potential risk. Zhibo Xuan, I know you love learning and crave knowledge. So you absolutely cannot refuse my gift. Sitting at his desk, Shimura Tanzo stood up. As he turned around, his gaze locked on a book on the bookshelf. Writing a research report on Will Eyes. A thousand-handed opening. The Thousand Hand clan and the Uchiha clan were originally enmities. Qianshou Kaijian naturally inherited the hatred of the Qianshou clan towards the Uchiha clan. It is precisely because of this that Qianshou Kaima, who is skilled in research, has also studied the Uchiha clan and the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan. Through research, conclusions can be drawn quickly. When the Uchiha people lose important love or feel pain for their own disappointment, special chakras surge out of their minds, acting on the optic nerve and causing changes in their eyes, which is the eye that reflects the soul. The so-called Sharingan, which synchronizes with the power of the soul, can quickly make people stronger. Accompanied by the power of inner hatred, most Uchiha people have delicate thoughts and awaken strong emotions. Almost all of them are swallowed up by darkness and fall into evil ways. The deeper the darkness, the stronger the pupils, and the more difficult it is to deal with. Hatred combined with scientific research conclusions is one of the reasons why Qianshou despises the Uchiha clan, and also one of the reasons why Zhizuan Tuanzang harbors hatred towards the Uchiha clan.